Hello, it's Brian from Gould Instruments again. This time the topic is going to be regarding the testing and maintenance of fire hose reels. The reference for this is AS2441 2005 version. So in order to make life easier for people that test fire hose reels, we come up with a new solution, a new way of doing things. Rather than timing a fire hose reel into a bucket, we've come up with ultrasonic flow meters, which measure the flow and the pressure of hose reels. And we've got two different models. We've got the base model, and then we've got the 3D printed version, which is a new version that we've just built, which it comes with a handy carry handle and sits on 45 degrees to make it a little bit easier to read. So with the kits come a variety of fittings that adapt to different nozzle sizes using these cam lock fittings. So they're very fast and easy to use. So we have a variety of these in the kits. So basically you'll have your fire hose reel, that's your nozzle. You're going to open it fully. You're going to obviously have the tap on the wall off still, and you're going to find the appropriate cam lock fitting that's going to fit for that nozzle, which is, in this case, it's that one. Now, if you find that there's a bit of play, you add additional rubbers to get a nice firm fit. So that you then place the cam lock fitting on the inlet of the flow meter, and then on the outlet you have this other fitting whereby you fit that, and you can run a 19mm hose out the window or into a drain or what have you to get rid of the water during the test. So then you would close that valve off, you'd open the valve on the hose reel, and the nozzle's already been opened fully, and then you control the flow with that valve and to the drain. So our display reads in litres per minute and kPa pressure. So you have minimum flow rates which are in the standard for different types of hoses, and if you're using a nozzle that happens to be parallel without a lip on it to enable to seal, so if it's a straight nozzle, you can use this particular fitting with a bit of hose on it, and you stick your nozzle in there and put a clamp over it. So the whole idea is to avoid having to take off the nozzles from the hose reels. It's a fast, accurate way to do it. The flow meters are very accurate, 1 to 2% accuracy, and you can also use our application to record test results if you want to automate things. We'll give you a live demonstration of how this system works soon. Thank you. Brian from Gould Instruments. We're at the PICAC Fire Industry Training Academy in Sydney, and today we're going to be discussing the testing of fire hose reels. And we've developed a brand new system which uses an ultrasonic flow meter and digital pressure gauge to carry out these tests. The kit comes with a variety of different cam lock fittings. This one is for parallel type nozzles. The other ones seal off in a cam lock fitting, which I'll show you shortly. So the whole idea is you turn the tap off at the wall to isolate the hose, open the nozzle fully, fit it to our fittings, and then attach our ultrasonic flow meter, and then you'll close off the outlet valve, and you'll open the valve on the wall here, and you'll control the flow with the ball valve on our ultrasonic flow meter. This is a much better system rather than using a bucket and a timer, because you've got to dispose of the water after you've done all your flow tests. Whereas with this, we can just run a hose out a window or down a drain, and it only requires a matter of seconds to obtain a good flow reading. Right, here we've got our new ultrasonic fire hose reel test kit. That's what the FLOWMETER itself looks like. It's got a rate meter, litres per minute, and it's also got a digital pressure gauge that measures kPa. You'll notice that it's got a ball valve on the outlet. That's the flow direction, and we can control the flow with that ball valve. We've got cam lock fittings either side. The inlet will go to your fire hose reel nozzle, and the whole idea is not to have to take the nozzles off, but you use these various different sizes of cam lock fittings. There's quite a few in there, different sizes, and if in the event that you've got a parallel nozzle, there's also one with a bit of rubber hose on the end that you can use a clip to hold in place. So we're going to do a flow test shortly. Also, when you use these cam locks, the spare rubber sets in there, so that if the nozzle is a little bit loose in the cam lock, you can pack it out with an extra rubber just to get a good seal. Right, so now we're going to do a flow test to ensure that this particular hose reel has got adequate flow rate. The flow rates are listed in the Australian standard. Different line sizes require different minimum flow rates. So we're going to get a flow rate in litres per minute, and we're also going to get a pressure reading in kPa. So I'm just going to do the flow test now. We're going to get a reading litres per minute, as well as a pressure reading, which won't be a lot. So it's just coming up now. It's fully open. As you can see, we've got a reading flow rate of around 40 odd litres per minute and a pressure reading of only 10 kPa. So it's a pretty good flow rate. You just have to refer to the Australian standard for the correct flow rate for the size of the feed line. Just got to make sure that the flow meter is slightly elevated, because it needs to have no air in the system, because it's ultrasonic rather than a paddle wheel. You also need to use the swipe to select the correct page. You'll know when you've got the right page. It'll have cubic meters at the top and litres per minute at the bottom, 2 decimal places. Right, continuing on with fire hose reel testing. Our application's also got a category for fire hose testing, and that's the icon there. All the usual details are there. Authorised tester, test kit, owner, occupier, location, all that sort of stuff. If it hasn't got a serial number on the fire hose reel, you can create one using our app and a wireless ticket printer, and you can create a QR code and then attach it to the fire hose reel. Next time you come back, you can just scan it and all the constants will be there, and you can carry out a new test.